Hello and welcome back to Black Dice Gaming. I'm James, and today we're going to be painting up the Origon dragon that we unboxed just the other day. So I've got her all prepared. I've given her a black undercoat. Colour Forge is the black that I use. It's a very nice matte black. And then I've done the dry brush in the Basalt Grey by Vallejo, and then a further dry brush with Vallejo White. Blanco. So without further ado, let's get on with some painting and see. We're going to go for a green colour scheme. I've kind of gone a little heavier on the white in areas that I'm going to want to be naturally lighter, but we'll take it from there. I will give you one little tip. Getting into this area, just here, is absolutely ridiculously difficult. So I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, so we'll play it by ear. So let's get on with it. Okay, so let's get cracking. We've got her all prepared up, and let's give her a first paint. The first paint we're going to be using is the Contrast Plague Bearer's Flesh, and we are literally painting everything. I'm just going to go over the whole thing in this colour, and this is going to be sort of our base colour. We're going to build up from here, and being very, very generous with the paint, making it get into all the nooks and crannies like a good contrast paint should do. Because it is so light, I'm not bothered about anything that we're going to be touching up later on. It's literally slap it on and take it from there. So I'm using a right big brush. This is, I think this is actually a dry brush, but we're not bothered. We just want as much coverage as possible, as quickly as possible, so that we can start moving on to the more interesting steps. Okay, so it's going to take a little while, so leave it with me, and I'll be back with the next step once she's fully done and dry. Okay, so while we're waiting for the Plague Bearer Flesh to dry, we're going to be using some Blood Angels Red, and we're going to work on the base. The tiles on the rooftops of these particular buildings do tend to have sort of a red glow to them, or a red colour to them. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to colour in all the rooftop tiles on the base. Now it's quite a mixture of things are on the base. I think there is elements of wood as well. So these are all roof tiles, but then we've got rubble, bits of rubble, and if we turn her around towards this section here, I think there's a plank of wood, and that's a bit of wood as well. So we'll probably come back with another colour and colour them in. So it's just a case of you know, working your way around the base, sort of working out what's what and what colour you think it should be, and then just take it from there. I mean, there's going to be a bit of colour on the base, but you know, it's down to you what sort of level of detail that you want to pick out on the base. So yeah, just think what could be tiles, what could be rubble, and like I said, that I do think there's bits of wood on there as well. Okay, so I'm going to go around, get the rest of the tiles picked out, and I'll be back with the next step. So continuing with the base, we're going to use some Basilicanum Grey, and this is going to be for all the rubble, and just going to give that a coating of the Basilicanum Grey, just to there we go, something along those lines, like that. And just going to carry on around the model. There's plenty of rubble to pick out, just to make it different from the tiles area. There's probably a few tiles there I've missed actually as well, but you know, this isn't going to be the focal point, and we're only concentrating on this at the moment whilst the green is drying. So yeah, just slowly go around the model, picking out all the little bits of rubble that you can see. Okay, so I'm going to finish off the rest of that, and then we'll probably block in the wood, and then that's the base pretty much done, except for some maybe dry bussing. So moving on with some wildwood, we're just going to get those little bits of pieces of wood that I can see on the base, and then, like I say, other than coming back for some dry brushing later on, we are done. And it's just that bit there, and this long one along the bottom here. They just certainly look like planks of wood. I mean, they could be steel lintels if you really wanted them to be, if you just wanted to miss doing them in the wood completely. You could probably get away with it. It's not where the attention's going to be caught, I suppose, so and there we are. There we are. Okay, so we're still waiting for the green to dry. I'll be back once it is dried up and ready to go for the next stage. Okay, so moving on to the next step, we are going to be using Militarum Green, and we are going to be using this on his scales. Now, when I say scales, we're going to leave all the back scales, and we're going to leave all the front plates scales. We're going to leave all them, but all the scales in between, such as these ones, these we're going to go and do in the Militarum Green. Now, it's a very subtle difference, but the main thing we're going for here is that it's a slightly deeper, darker shade. Ever so slightly. You're not going to notice a lot of difference. You might not even be able to pick much of that up on the camera. But like I say, we're just going around the side scales. So it's front and it's back. We're going to miss. And we're just deepening these scales up down the side. Okay, and it's pretty much going to be used like a wash rather than, it is straight from the pot, so we're putting it on as thick as normal, but it's going to be acting more like a wash than an actual colour, because the colour itself isn't that different to what we've already got on there. Okay, so we're just going to be moving around, picking the scales. We're not going to do the hands, we're going to leave the hands and the feet, but just up to that scale line, just there, and then same again on the other side. Okay, so I'm not touching its face at this stage, so let's run around this side. So yeah, all on the neck here, leaving the belly scales, just like so. And it is slightly darker. It's like I say, it's going into those recesses, creating a darker tone to these scales as opposed to the other ones, the main scales on its back and belly. Okay, so this is going to take a little while, just going around the sort of serpentine body, and I have already done it on the wings, so let me show you what we're doing on the wings. So we're leaving the membranes. We're just catching these scales at the top here, scales on its arm, here and here. We'll do the same both sides on both wings. Okay, so just the scaly parts of what would be the skin. Okay, right, so I'm going to crack on, get the rest of it done, and we'll come back at the next stage. So we're ready for the next colour now, and the next colour is going to be Vallejo Park Green. It's quite a nice colour actually. Let me just bring it here. It looks very, very bright, very, very sort of, you know, the primary school colours that you maybe used at primary school. And we're going to be colouring in the same areas we've just done in the Militarum Green. And basically we're looking to get this sort of coverage here with a dry brush. Okay, so as you can see, it's just picked up nicely and it's turned it a nice sort of emeraldy type green. That's kind of what we're going for. So let's get on with it. So you don't need a lot on your brush at all. So make sure when you're dry brushing, you're taking quite a chunk off. And it's just a case of brushing down on his scales in the same area we've just been to create that sort of nice forest green sort of look. Obviously missing the same parts that we missed last time. And just building up to that nice green colour. Okay. So just nice and gentle, no rushing. We don't want to get it anywhere else if we can help it. Just take your time, nice and slowly, and you can see as we're building it up now, the sort of difference between the lower part and the top part that I've just done there. It's a more muted, sort of darker, but brighter green. Okay, so I'm going to get on, do a little bit more, and we'll come back with the next colour. Okay, so with the, was it Park Green I think we used? Park Green done on the scales there. We're going to work on the other scales, the front scales, his face, all the sort of streamers or whatever they are, the hands, yeah, and this part of his tail as well. Okay, and for that we're going to be using Vallejo Light Green. Okay, now I'll show you. I've done the wings, so we've done the Park Green on the scales, and on the membranes and on the streamers we've done the light green, and it gives that sort of lighter look. You can compare it to his face there. We can see that there's a big difference between the two. Okay, so that's basically what we're going for. And I've just moved my camera, sorry, bear with me a second. There we go. Right, so again, just a light dry brush and nothing too heavy. Don't worry too much if you do go over here, because it would help towards the blending. When the colours are both dry brushed, there's not a vast difference between the two shades. Okay, so it will help towards the blending. Now I'm going to start with this face, because I think that's going to make the most impact. And we're just going to lightly dry brush over the top just to pick it out. If we have to do a couple of passes, then that's fine. Okay, now we probably don't want to catch everything here, leaving some of the original colour underneath. We are going to do another lighter dry brush on top. So yeah, there we go. And it's now starting to look a little bit more brighter, a little bit more vivid. Okay, we'll do this side as well. Okay, we're just picking out the highlights as you do with dry brushing, going around as we do, working it in like so. Okay, so I'm going to carry on, get the rest of that done, and I'll meet you back once we're at the next stage. Okay, so with all that now highlighted, hopefully what you can see here coming through is we've got 4 different tones of green throughout the whole model. And we've still got some of the yellowy plague bearer flesh showing through. We've got some of the light green, the lighter dark green, if that makes sense, and also the militarum, what's it called again? Yeah, militarum green. That's there as well. Okay, so probably should have done this earlier. I'm going to do inside his mouth, and for that, as always, I'm using Carabag Crimson. We're just going to go in, cover his tongue and the roof of his mouth and the underside of his mouth as well. Again, sometimes this does take 2 sort of coats, depends on how much or how vivid you want the colour to show through. Yeah, that's that. So on this one, we're going to do his claws in Screaming Skull. And we're going to do his teeth in Screaming Skull as well. So what I'm going to do is finish his mouth like so. That stands out more once you've done the teeth, to be fair, but yep, that's that. And then the next step is going around doing his claws. I'm going to leave his mouth, but I'm going to get Screaming Skull. This is going to create quite a bright contrast against the deep and dark greens that we've used. And that doesn't pop, just don't want to stay open. So yeah, what I'm going to do is just going to do his claws in the Screaming Skull, being extremely careful here not to go on the green. This may take 2 coats because it's going over black. And I'm also going to block his teeth in when its mouth is dry, but I'll do that off camera, and we'll be back in a few. Okay, so the next step that we're going to be looking at is Uriel Yellow, and we're going to be using that to sort of highlight all of the wisps and his tail. I don't know if it's hair or just, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I've done it on the wing to give you an idea what we're sort of going for. As you can see, it's Uriel Yellow. It's quite bright, but when we put it on this deep dark green, it tones it down, giving it a slightly darker hue. So I've just done it across the wisps here and on the little bit of its shoulder. That's both of them sort of side by side. So we're going to carry on and do the same effect on the dragon. I'm going to start doing his tail, because I think we'll see quite a bit of difference. Now with this, it's just a really gentle highlight, just basically just dragging the brush across. It's not, I wouldn't say that it was dry brushing as such. We're just really just dragging the brush across to sort of catch the edges of it. And that's all we're trying to do, just to get the tips of that green. We don't want to cover up all the green, because otherwise we've done all those layers for absolutely no reason at all. But yeah, we want to kind of keep the green aspect to it, but also just kind of introduce that yellow along the edges. I mean, you could go around and pick them all off individually with a brush. You could absolutely do that, but I just think it's probably a lot easier to do it this way. And you can build up the color if you want. If you want to go higher with it, then by all means go much higher with it. Take it as high as you want. With this sort of method, we're getting a mixed bag of color across all the surfaces, so it's not giving you the same simple color throughout. It's again, because of the slap shot technique, we're picking up all the highlights. It's the green underneath has got darker in some areas, and because of that, the yellow is going to do exactly the same. It's going to give us a really nice mixture of color right the way across. Okay. So I'm going to get on and do the rest of it. You know, we're going to do all of its head, its arms here, its legs. We'll do the other side of its tail and face and everything. And I'll get on and do that. And we'll be back. So at this stage, I've now attached the wings, and we have something that looks very much like this. I will say that I really didn't like the nails, so I ended up painting them black anyway. But I did that off camera. So yeah, here we go. Now what I'm going to do here is we're just going to do a light dry brush on the 2 shades on the base, and we're going to use Evil Sun Scarlet for the red and Admin Grey for the Basilicanum Grey. So I'm going to get that done off camera. I'm also going to pick out the eye in Evil Sun Scarlet as well while we've got the red out. I'll do that off camera and then we'll do the final reveal. Okay. And here she is in all her glory. Nice simple paint job, nothing too complicated. Nice results, hopefully you would think the same too. But yeah, very pretty. I like how she's turned out. That middle section, the sort of S bend in its stomach there, was incredibly difficult to reach. And for majority of it, I sort of just missed it out. I didn't really bother with a lot of it. But yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to paint, just like the Marduk, and hopefully I'll be moving on, do another couple of these. I've also got the Giant and the Troll. I've got those ready and waiting to go. So if you want to see those unboxed and indeed painted up, then please like and subscribe, and hopefully I shall catch you in the next one.